YouTube. So I know in my channel update video I said my next series was going to be on the advent of code, but I got a little bit distracted and wanted to show you a simple C# console application that's going to allow us to connect to the Twitter streaming API and basically sit and watch Twitter for any tweets containing a list of keywords that I'm going to supply. So this is really easy, really basic. We're going to use an existing library, but the end result is actually going to be pretty cool. So you can see here I'm in Visual Studio 2012. I have a new project created. It's just a simple console application. I just called it Twitter Stream, and all that I have inside of this class right now is just the main method. Here is the library that I'm going to use to connect to the Twitter streaming API. This is called TweetInvi, so I'll include a link in the description to this library. And this library allows you to do a lot of different things with the Twitter API. You can see a giant list of stuff over here, stuff like searches, streams, users, friendships, private messages. Today I'm going to be focusing just on streams, specifically filtered streams. So you can go ahead and look through this wiki and get whatever you need, but for today's purpose I'm just going to be focusing on filtered streams. Alright, so let's go ahead and get started. I'm going to click on Introduction, and on this introduction page there's a little bit more information about the documentation and then the different ways to get this library installed. So obviously there's the TweetInvi is available on GitHub, and then there's also a NuGet package. So how I'm going to add this to my solution is using NuGet. So I'll go ahead and copy this command. I'll jump back into Visual Studio. I have my package manager console open, and I'm going to go ahead and run the install package TweetInvi API command to add this library to my solution using NuGet. Alright, so we can see that NuGet package was successfully installed, and the references that we're going to need were added to this solution. The next thing we're going to need to do is get an API key in order to access the Twitter streaming API. So I'll provide some links in the description. Basically in order to get this type of key, we're going to be using application-only authentication, so I'll include a link to this page with an overview on what application-only authentication is. Then there's a separate link here on how you can get an API key and secret key from dev.twitter.com. Basically what you do is you go to dev.twitter.com, you set up a new application, and it just asks some basic details about what your application is and what you're going to be using it for. After your application is created, then you have access to an API key and secret key that we're going to be used for calling the Twitter streaming API. So I've actually gone ahead and gotten my keys ahead of time. So basically what you end up with is a consumer key, a consumer secret, an access token, and then an access token secret. So you can see what I've done here is I've put my keys that I've generated inside of the app config for this console application so that you guys can't see them. But I've gone ahead and started some stubbing some stuff in here so you guys can see exactly how easy this is. So the main method's called. There's some basic authentication setup. So you do auth.set user credentials, and then you pass in your consumer key, consumer secret, access token, and access token secret. Down below that, we go ahead and actually create the stream. We add a list of the keywords that we want to track. So in this case, I'm just going to be tracking the word Disney. I'm limiting my stream to just tweets that are in English. And then I just do a basic writing to the console to know that I've reached this point in program processing. So I'm just saying I'm listening to Twitter. Anytime that there's a tweet on Twitter that matches one of your keywords, this method is called. And the arguments here contains all the information about a particular tweet. So if we look at this stream.matchingTweetReceived method, you can see that all that I'm doing is writing to the console the actual tweet text. So essentially this method will get hit when anyone on Twitter has a tweet that contains the word Disney. So if I put a breakpoint in here and start running this console application, You can see you get a message that says, I am listening to Twitter. And now this stream.matchingTweet received method has been hit. So if we take a look at exactly what this arguments contains, you can see that it has a matching tracks property. If I open that up, you can see that the reason that this method was called was because it's matching the track of Disney. If I open up this base, I can actually open up the tweet and see the different information that's attached to a particular tweet. So you can see when it was created at, you can see when it was created by, and a little bit further down you can see the text of the tweet. And there's also an actual link back to the tweet on Twitter here. So if I pull this breakpoint and let this run, so you can see here that the tweets just start rolling in, and I'm writing the tweet text to the console window. So basically what we've done here is establish an open web request to the Twitter streaming API saying we want to track the word Disney. Anyone who tweets about the word Disney, take the tweet text and write it to the console. So this is pretty interesting. You can see there's a lot of people out on Twitter that are tweeting about the word Disney. So what I would like to do is actually set up a test and establish that this is working the way that we're thinking. So I'm going to pick a less common term, and then I'm actually going to go out on Twitter and tweet and see if our streaming application picks up my tweet. So let's go ahead and change the keyword that we're tracking from Disney to something less popular, like perhaps basement programming. Save this and start running the console application. Alright, so we're up and running. We're listening to Twitter, and you can see that I'm not really getting any tweets being written to the console window, which means a lot of people aren't tweeting about basement programming. So let's go ahead and put this to the test. So let's go ahead and jump out to Twitter, where I have a new Twitter handle just called Basement Program. And what we're going to do is write a tweet that contains our track text of basement programming. So something like, I am shooting a new video. Basement programming. Tweet. So now if we jump back to our console application, we can see that I am listening to Twitter, and then there's the tweet. I am shooting a new video, basement programming, which essentially proves that we were listening to Twitter for the term basement programming. I produced a tweet, we captured that tweet, and it was written back to our console window. So as I mentioned, this is just something really basic, really simple to set up. I mean, I have 30 lines of code here, and I was connected to the streaming API and able to capture some tweet text. There's about a million other things you can do between the Twitter API and then this TweetInvi library. So you can go ahead and use it for whatever you need, but just wanted to put this video together because I thought it was pretty cool, easy, straightforward. So what I'll do is I'll go ahead and upload the source code for this console application to my channel programs repository, and I'll include a link in the description. So thanks a lot for watching. Hope you learned something, and let me know if there's anything else you want to see. Don't forget to rate, comment, and subscribe.